Insert funny I'm on a boat joke, but yes, we are doing the boat for today's underused weapons, and technically this is a vehicle, but we'll mostly be focusing on the machine-mounted turret of the RHIB boat, which if you're wondering what that actually stands for, it stands for Rigid Hull Inflatable Boat. And it is an inflatable boat indeed, because it's very, very easy to destroy one of these things. As you see there, one RPG is all it takes, or some well-placed bullets will usually take this thing out quite easily. But before we get started, I've got to give props to my sailor here, you know, my pilot, IXI Sweat. He did an awesome job kind of driving us around, getting some good clips for this particular episode, because this one was a lot of fun to get. It was frustrating. I'm not going to lie, it was very frustrating to sit here and grind in this boat to get good clips, but once we got the hang of it, we were having a blast in this thing, which made me wonder, you know, why on earth don't people stay in this longer? You know, the only thing you really see the boat used for is from point A to point B, especially on Rush. On Carg Island, they jump in the boat, they get on land, they abandon it, it blows up. They don't really use the machine gun that's mounted to the front of this thing, but I was like, alright, let's look at this thing. This is totally underused. You don't see anybody ever using this as a quote weapon. You don't ever see anybody kind of doing these strafes like we have. We're going back and forth along the dock, picking off, you know, people on the land, shooting other boats, and doing a pretty decent job of allowing them to flank in with boats. Now, granted, we die a lot of times. Like I said, this boat does not offer you any sort of protection, so if someone gets wise with an assault rifle, it's pretty easy to pick someone off. And you are limited with the boat. You don't have a whole lot of degrees of turn. I mean, it's just like any other sort of mounted machine gun. You can't turn too much, so wherever the boat's facing is pretty much the only place that you can really shoot, you know, a little bit to the left and right. So you're looking at, I would say, maybe 160 degrees. I was going to say 180, but if you really think about it, you can't go to that 10 degrees to the left and right. So it's more like 160 degrees is what you really have to work with. And then up and down, you don't have a lot of movement there either. But one of the cool things about this machine gun that's mounted on the front is you can do some pretty good damage to some of the helicopters, you know, the transport helis, the scout choppers, even the attack helicopters. I wouldn't advise engaging an attack helicopter, but in a pinch, you can do work against them. But I did learn a very important statistic about these boats, is you can't touch bigger boats or you'll die. The big boats will make you kill yourself instantly. That goes for any of the carriers. Any sort of weird object out in the water that's not really a land formation, stay away from it. You know, that's my pro tip of the day as a pro sailor, because I put in about an hour worth of RHIB work, because this thing is actually a lot of fun. I had a blast sailing around in this thing, but for the most part, I understand why it's underused. This thing has a very weak turret. You don't really have a whole lot of accuracy with it. You can see the 50, I think it's a 50 cal. It's not really doing much damage to these guys, and they're dancing around my bullets. You can't be that precise with it. You know, you can kind of burst fire it, but it's not accurate because you can't aim down sight. It's not like the machine gun that's on the back of the VDB bug, or is it VDV or something like that, buggy, the other Jeep, the Growler or whatever that's called. It's a little bit different. I think it depends on the one that you actually have. Maybe the VDB actually has the 30 cal on it. I don't actually know. I'd have to confirm that, but these boats can go pretty fast. They get upwards of like 50 kilometers per hour, which is quite swift. I think it's like the second fastest thing in Battlefield 3, so these things can get up and move when you really get down and move around on them. I know the ATVs have probably got them beat in that department, and you are limited because obviously you have to stay in the water, but they are a lot of fun. You know, if you just go up and down the coast kind of pillaging at people who spawn in, it can actually throw people off, and we do a pretty good job of blocking their spawn here for the most part. But this was today's underused weapon. I know it was quite different, but we're branching out here with this series, and this is going to be a weekly series on Monday. We're going to be really consistent on this, so be sure to recommend some things you'd like to see appear in this. I know a lot of you guys have wanted to see the Russian holographic scope, even the IRNV. Infrared night vision scope. There we go. I know you guys wanted to see that appear as well, so leave your comments, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I will see you guys next time. Peace.